chat box, in the chat box, we just put the second quarter top 5 commercial brokers in our office. Dan, would you like to chat about that?
Awesome. Well, congratulations to our top 5. And Zach, if you can share that graphic for our Q2, as you probably heard yesterday on our from Harma, that we crossed $1 billion in sales volume so far this year, in literally 6 months, pretty much. Last year, if you remember, we did 1.2 billion for the entire year. And so the fact that we're already crossing $1 billion in sales July 12th is incredible. So congratulations to all of you. But if our top 5 for Q2, and if Zach can share that slide.
Are you able to do that, Zach? He's muted. There we go. All right.
Cindy Hill, Dana Coronado, Nicole Apostolos, Annie Maelian, and Zorik Dodoyan. So congratulations to our top 5. I see Dana and Nicole on here. Great job. It's units and volume. So killing it as always, and very proud of you, and congratulations. We're also going to announce you guys at our team meeting right after this at 11 o'clock. And then our social media post will go live at noon. So congratulations, you guys. It's amazing.
Congrats.
One last thing I just want to bring up before we turn it over to Jeff is every week, all of the team leaders get on a call nationally. It's every Monday, and they bring on the new KW commercial team. So they're completely, KWRI is completely revamping the commercial division. They did not release any additional details at this point. But if some of you may have noticed, they also redid the luxury brand a couple months ago. So they're really investing into the different brands, the commercial, the luxury, the land division. So they're going to be making announcements very soon on that. I'm assuming next week, month at Mega Camp, some of us are going. They're going to roll out a lot more details at that time, but very exciting because I've been waiting for some changes. As you know, Sam Hasty isn't with us anymore at KW Commercial. So they've completely got a whole new leadership team, and they're going to start making announcements on what changes and exciting things are happening for KW Commercial. So as soon as we get any information on that, we'll make sure to forward it all to you guys.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dan. And you talked, they listened. So both the luxury and commercial divisions being completely reinvented at Keller Williams. So hopefully there'll be some great positive changes for all of you. All right. So without further ado, we're going to pass it over to Jeff Estrada from CoStar. Jeff's going to unmute himself, and he's going to show you some new tools and resources in CoStar that will help you. Go ahead, Jeff. Thank you for being here.
Cool, thank you. Well, that's very exciting and a huge accomplishment, and congratulations to the top 5 brokers last quarter. I'll be reaching out to you personally, so hopefully that can help as some motivation for everyone else to help expand the commercial side of the business, as I'm sure you already are. I'm going to share my screen here, and I'm going to keep it pretty simple and move a little slowly if you guys do plan on taking notes. Going to go through a couple updates. The first one that's probably the biggest update that we rolled out in February was a CMBS loan and property integration into CoStar, which tracks CMBS loans. A lot of people think that they're really only for Class A skyrise buildings in downtown, but really it's not the case when you can also find 4, 5, 6 unit multifamily buildings that have CMBS loans attached. The importance of this is because you can actually find distressed assets, which loans are in default 30, 60, 90 days. I'm also going to show you not how to underwrite using sale comps, but how to find the smaller mom and pops looking to dispose or acquire multifamily properties, or actually find who the top active buyers are. So if you wanted to try to reach out to them proactively, you guys can see my screen, right? You see a CoStar page? Thumbs up? Yes? Okay, sorry, there you go. And so we will go over that, and then we're also going to go in the public record search as well and show you how to find loans that are maturing within the next 12 months. Reason why is because lenders are more than likely having conversations with those owners, and that way you can target them and kind of have that conversation before anyone else is reaching out to them, okay? So let's go ahead and focus in the all properties module. Okay, this is going to be the flagship product where I spend a majority of my time, and I'm sure you all spend majority of your time as well. For now, we're just going to go over to filters. Okay, we're going to go into the loan tab right here. And if I just want to pull up all the CMBS loans, okay, that are performing 30, 60, 90 maturity default, just where my map is covering, you'll see all the CMBS loans. When you're in a specific property, which I'll go to in a second, you'll see loan and financials tab. That is only available for CMBS loans. We're not tracking all loan and financials for just all 6 million properties across the United States. So for now, if I just wanted to turn off the assets that are performing and really just look at the 30, 60, 90-day and maturity default properties, just here where my map is covering, you can really just target these properties. And then you can also see, so if we go into the Beverly Connection, right, the loan and financials tab. Once this loads, we'll jump right in. Go from there. Okay. So when we're on the loan tab for this property, you'll see the collateral, the current balance, the origination balance, the appraisal amount. You can see it was appraised in October of 2020, and you also have commentary from the special servicer. Okay. You can see it was put on the watch list of August 2020. But now you have, now it just went delinquent in June of 2021, so just last month. And you can read all of the commentary from the special servicer here, okay? You can also see that the special servicer is L&R Partners. So if you wanted to create relationships with L&R Partners, I can pull up their entire professional directory. That way you can contact L&R Partners and, you know, try to create a relationship with them so that you can try to get these loans before they try to sell them out in the market, or try to relieve the owner of any going into like a maturity default, excuse me. Okay, and here you can see the performance. So it's 90 days delinquent, right? So this owner is in fact in trouble, and that's why they are selling this property. If you want to go into financials and see how this property is performing, you'll have their income statement. You'll see it was underwritten in 2014, you have 2017, 18, 19, and the most recent income statement that they reported. This is a direct feed from Intex. Okay, this is the loan and financials is not CoStar research. So similarly as to what TREP would have, this is now integrated into CoStar, so you have access to all of this. Okay, we want to see their effective gross income, their operating expenses, and also how they're doing with NOI. Right, you could see they went to 12, 17, 12, 13, down to 3.2. Right, so this person's in trouble. And if you also want their DSCR, 156, 214, 152, 16, okay, now they're in trouble, right? 0.4 of DSCR. So if I want to find out, assuming that this wasn't a listing, an active listing, and I wanted to find the owner of this property, I'll go over to the contacts tab. You'll see Epstein and Associates has this listing. You have the recorded owner, so if you pull public record and title, this is what you'll see, right? But at CoStar, we have about 1,400 researchers across the United States, 26 alone in Los Angeles. Part of their job consists of making over 1 million cold calls and scraping 33 websites monthly so that we can verify the accuracy of the information and pierce through the corporate veil, right? So this one wasn't too hard because we have Ashkenazi Acquisition Corp as the recorded owner, and you see that he's the true owner as well, right? So if I wanted to pull up his entire schedule of real estate, this is the new owner discovery tool. If you were using the other owner discovery tool, it was kind of like an older module, which I can show you in a separate meeting. This is kind of new, reinvented, so it's that last owner discovery tool, but on steroids, right? You'll see the property highlights, their top 4 lease listings, and then you can also see their entire schedule of real estate. What is it that they own? What have they sold? Do they have any active listings now? Right now, it'll default to any property with any association. But if you want to see what it is that they currently own, right, just go down to the association type and click True Owner. and you'll have all of the properties that they currently own with their, their complete schedule of real estate. Now, if I want to know who exactly I can reach out to, right, you just go to the Contacts tab in this Owner Discovery tool. You have all the phone numbers right here, okay? And we actually are doing a great job on this one because we have every single email address right here, right? So, for example, let's just say I wanted to reach out to Daniel Levy. I have his email address right here, okay? You can email him directly from CoStar, but what I would suggest is have an Excel file open while you're running this search as well, because everything in CoStar is exportable. The only thing that is not exportable are email addresses because of spamming laws, okay? But if you want to start creating your own database, I would definitely just have a separate Excel open, copy and paste, and just start creating your own spreadsheet that way. Or you can always just email him directly through CoStar, okay? And now let's say, for example, if we didn't have the true owner for this property, or if we tried the email address or the phone number and they were incorrect, every single property in CoStar has a CoStar property contact, okay? You can, and don't feel bad, but you can email every CoStar property contact on any property to help you find this information. That's part of their job. That's what we do, okay? So if you have a hard time finding it yourself, or if you don't want to take on that responsibility yourself, pass it over to us, right? Let us do the heavy lifting for you. We have a very high, I would say, conversion rate as far as finding the true owner, email, phone number, the right contact information. If this person's like incognito or just impossible to find, then obviously we won't have it, but there's a very high chance that we can find that. We do use, I'm sure you guys probably have access to your own database, which we probably have access to as well, but we just have an entire army just behind it, researching every single property, calling on every single comp, calling every broker. So rely on us to do some of this work for you, okay? Now, let me step out of here, and let's go over to the Results tab. Okay, that's kind of it on CMBS. So just start playing. Oh, let me show you something else as well with CMBS. That way, if you want to be the first one to know whenever an owner is going to potentially have any sort of trouble and you reach out to them, I want you to save this search. Okay, I'm going to clear my filters. The only filters I'm clearing are my the 30, 60, 90-day delinquent. Right, so if we go over to filters, we go back to loan. Okay, if you put most recent DSCR, right, most CMBS lenders, their minimum requirement is 1.25 before they start asking the owner, you know, like what are your plans, or do you need any type of relief? I would say just put 1.3 as max DSCR. That way, for any recent reported income statement for an owner, if it falls below 1.3 and kind of gets close to that 1.25 range, you can start reaching out and having those conversations with those owners to see if even they're considering to sell their property, right? So here, right, let me click done. Max DSCR, I didn't put anything here. I didn't check what's currently on a watch list or previously on a watch list. I'm just leaving most recent DSCR 1.3, right? But what I would suggest is really play with these filters so that you can, you can get creative with the data and kind of what triggers you want to put in CoStar. That way it'll automate an email for you. That way you can start reaching out to those owners proactively, okay? So just where my map is, there's 293 properties with their last income statement. Their max DSCR was 1.3. Okay, what I would do is click Save Current Search, and then you can just say CMBS loan DSCR 1.3, right? You can put it in a folder. You can share it. So if you are working on a team, you can share it with your team members here, so you will all get alerted, but make sure you enable your alerts, okay? Every morning at 5 in the morning the next day, weekends included, you will receive an email if there is a new hit according to your search or your saved criteria, okay? That's personally how I do a lot of my prospecting as well, exactly what I'm showing you right now, not necessarily with DSCR specifically, but just in CoStar, right? So enable your alerts. If you want to share it with If you want to share it with a team member, you can just enter their email address, and then you'll all get alerts at 5 in the morning next day. Okay, I'm not going to save that. So now let me show you just how you can actually export owner contact information and kind of a way to create your own Excel file fairly easily in CoStar, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is go over to location and make sure it's, I believe the max properties you can have in this search is 2,000, if not 500, but try 2,000 first. If that doesn't work, then it'll be 500. But what you can do is just go to location. We'll go to multifamily. I'm just going to do West Los Angeles. Okay. Click done. Okay. So there's 3,000 properties, so I want to try to get that right below 2,000. So we're going to do multifamily. Okay, 1724. I'm going to leave it like this. Okay. Now, this next report that I'm going to show you is how you can extract the current owners of these multifamily properties in West Los Angeles, their address, their email, and their phone number. Okay. Now, in this report, there's going to be line items that do not have emails attached to it. There's probably two reasons for that. One, it's either because we don't have that email in CoStar, or secondly, because there's multiple contacts to where we haven't associated that email to that true owner. So what you can do is when you run into that, you can go into the property itself and verify that, or if not, you can, again, rely on the researcher to go and help you find that information. That way you can create your Excel and go focus on something else, okay? So this is important. So when I have my search criteria, you click reports, okay? This is kind of a two-step process that I'm going to show you. So you click reports, and you go to this third one right here where it says list reports, okay? If you want to send direct mail, great. You can just go ahead and print labels and put label in your printer, and then you're good to go. But I want you to print company contact report, okay? This is the one I want you to go for, okay? Before you generate this report, it's going to say contact types to include. We just want current owners, okay? If you want to target property managers, previous owners, go for it. But for the sake of this exercise, we're just going to do current owners. Now I'm going to generate the report. And this is the only report in CoStar that you can export email addresses for true owners, okay? Actually, just for any email address. Let me try to drag this down a little. There you go. Okay. So there's 39 pages, right, of current owners for these properties just in my search. And here you'll see, right, all of the emails, right, where it says true owner. Okay, you see how it's no email, no phone number? It could be, again, that it's not associated in CoStar, or it's not connected to the actual true owner, and there's probably multiple contacts for that property, and then you can go ahead and look at their directory and get that information, okay? Hang on, there you go. So this is the report that you can start with, okay? This is the first report that I want you to pull. Once you pull this report, go over to the list view. And then we're going to click that More tab, and you click Export. Before you export this, I want you to include property ID, and then type the word true. And I want you to grab all of this information and move it over to the right column, okay? And then you can just organize this as preference. You can either choose to include this or not. It's completely up to you. And then let's just bring that up to the top. The reason why I want you to get property ID is because this property ID is pretty much how it's reporting in CoStar. So instead of you trying to type in the phone number, just get the property ID and fill it in the search bar in CoStar, and that property will come up. And it's just a very easy and efficient way for you to get that information, okay? Now we do export. We're going to open this. Done. Okay, here we go. Great. Now this is the export, right? Here's the property ID. This is important. This is just kind of like a personal recommendation. If you don't want to grab it or if you forget, no worries. It's not going to be the end of the world, right? And right here, after true owner phone, just insert and then just type true
That's a big number.
owner.
It's very interesting.
Okay. And now, you know, it does require a little work, but
Guys,
now
it's
you just
driven.
take this company contact
He got a
report that I
call
helped you
recently
generate,
about that.
and then you can easily,
Really?
hang on,
Yeah.
you, there you go, thank you. And now you can just very easily go from this company contact report and start entering in the information here, and that's like a very easy way to create your Excel spreadsheet without you needing to do everything one by one. It does require a little bit of work, but that is a very fast and easy solution for you, in addition to whatever it is that you're already doing, okay? Now, let me get out of here, go back to CoStar. Okay, great. So now withdrawn listings, right? I want to find withdrawn listings. What was active, what went through price reductions, and what was withdrawn because it just didn't sell, excuse me. When you're in this, let me go back to the map view in case you're running a new search. I'm just going to leave it here in West Los Angeles, but you can just put it anywhere really. You go back over to the list view, and we go to changes, okay? From changes, we're going to go from all changes to sale status changes. Last 7 days, I would say go back a year. And under new status, just sort this and see all the withdrawn listings, okay? So within the last year, just in West Los Angeles, I have all the withdrawn listings. Now, just because it's here withdrawn does not mean that it did not sell, but you can confirm, right? And also, this doesn't give you sale comps. This is not the sale comp. We're just tracking sale status changes right here. Okay, I just want to make that clear. So now when we go into the actual property, we can see sale status. Let me just go all changes for this property, right? Let's just do last 365. So it was active for 12 million in October of 2020. And then it was withdrawn in March 2021, okay? We can go over to sale to see if there is any transaction reported as far as a comp to confirm that it was actually a withdrawn listing. Okay, no prior sales, and if you always want to check public record, it's integrated here on the property level as well, so you can see the last sale and loan history to confirm that this wasn't an actual transaction that went through. So 2016, yeah, no, so this is a withdrawn listing, right? So now what you can do, let's go over to the contact tab. True owner is Ben Argawal, right? There's his email, there's his phone number. Now you can call him, and obviously you would know what to say better than I could, but you can talk to him about his withdrawn listing, right? But that's also how you can start tracking all of those withdrawn listings in Los Angeles, Orange County, Inland Empire, wherever it is that you want to focus on as far as your geography goes. Okay, and then also price reductions as well. You know, it's a very powerful tool. That's really what I would use. From the trainings I have and this exact training or module that I showed you, like going to changes and tracking withdrawn listings, not a lot of people are utilizing this feature in CoStar, okay? I know this because I can see the usage and see like what it is that people are actually doing in CoStar, and not a lot of people are using this, so I would definitely start going through this withdrawn listings. And also under contract as well, right? Just because it was under contract doesn't mean it was sold, maybe it fell out, but gives you another reason, right? So we just want to go into 1303 Wellesley. All right, under contract. Oh, just a couple weeks ago, so maybe it's still, still under contract. But this is another idea of what you can start doing just to see other properties that have not been reported as a withdrawn listing, but maybe it's just under contract, falling out, or they're taking too long in DD, or anything like that, right? Again, you can go to the contacts tab, true owner information, and again, the CoStar property contacts. So let's say, for example, if this property had nothing for the true owner, no email, no phone number, and we only had the recorded owner without a schedule of real estate, again, rely on the researcher on the property level. Okay, you don't even need to reference anything because the property is already mentioned in the subject line. So just get your message out to them and let them get to work for you. Okay. So that's on the withdrawn listing. And what I will go over to now is public record. Okay, so that's the all properties module. About 15 minutes. So we should be done before. Go back to the home page. We'll go to sale comps, and then we'll wrap up with public record, as this is going to be pretty easy and won't take too much time. So, sale comps. Okay, let's say I want to find multifamily buildings that have transacted since COVID. Okay, I want to see who the top active buyers are and who the top active sellers are. I want to, for the seller side, I want to find all the small mom and pops that are disposing, getting out of multifamily. When I run the search, you'll actually be very surprised to see almost every small mom and pop got rid of all of their multifamily properties that they had in their portfolio and now left with nothing, right? So multifamily since COVID, I'm not looking to comp a property out at all, right? Let's just go over to the list view. And if you're also looking for certain type of buyers, if you have land and you're looking for developers, or if you're looking for foreign investors, anything, you just go over to filters, capital, right? For buyer type, you can put developer, educational, endowment, equity funds, individuals, medicals, nonprofit. You can get very granular to the type of buyers you want for your properties if that is a requirement. But if not, you can always just filter through here. Okay, list view, and now we're going over to buyers, okay? So in buyers, it's going to combine our list of institutional, private, private equity, public, and user. But if you just want to focus on private, you can just look at all the private buyers. But let me just go back to all, because I just want to see who the top active buyers are for multifamily properties. If you can put your number of units as well. But for buyers, I want to filter by number of sales in search. Okay, so this is where my map is hovering over. I'm just finding who the top active buyers are in this area. Okay, you can see Positive Investments since COVID has purchased 14 properties of their 389. I guarantee they are not done purchasing properties. And if you want to see, maybe Positive Investments is only buying 150 plus units, right? They're not interested in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 unit multifamily properties. We can look at their schedule of real estate to actually confirm, right? So if we want to go into Positive Investments, you can see their properties. It loads. Hang on. All right, we go to association type, go to true owner. And I want to go to multifamily property type, right? I see that they actually own a lot of 2, 4, 6, 7, 4, 3, 5, 4, 6, 6, 6. So a lot of small multifamily properties, right? So if you have something that meets their criteria, you can reach out to them. Just go over to contact, and you have their professional directory, phone numbers, and emails, right? You can go to, right, property manager, general partner, office receptionist, principal, owner, right? Just start emailing them. But that's an example of how to find top active buyers, right? So for your listings, if you want to try to double in the deal before you even put it on CoStar or before you even consider putting it on LoopNet, right? Just go through this, right? Before you even have your listing, or, just go through buyers and start finding all of that. And for sellers as well, right? Sellers, we're going to kind of do it a little differently, but similar concept, okay? For sellers, I want to find the smaller mom and pops, right? That are just getting rid of multifamily or just looking to get rid of their properties overall. A lot of them don't really have, how can I say this, just one specific person that they like working with, right? If you look at all their transactions within a year, you'll see that they have multiple brokers that they've worked with, right? So just because a broker helped them with, selling their property, maybe they're wanting to work with another one for a 1031, right? But that gives you an opportunity to reach out to those sellers. But it also gives you an opportunity to reach out to them, say, you notice that they sold 2 of their 3 their properties. Maybe they'd be interested in selling the other. So what I'm going to filter is go to properties owned. Okay. I want to see all the smaller ones. So I want to make sure I'm going in descending order, right? Streetland Partners, 6, now they own 0, so they got rid of everything, right? 4 of 0, 4 of 2 of 0. All of these smaller owners are just getting rid of their entire portfolio, right? I can go to page 3. I'm going to probably have to go to like page 9, because especially during COVID, this is just happening. It was just like very common. Everyone got scared. Everyone wanted to get out or just move over to a different asset class. Page 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Page 9. So Bradley Temkin, he sold 3 properties. He has 1 left in his portfolio. You can reach out to him, or H&R Investments. Maybe they're a new fund. Oh, no, excuse me. They sold, so it wouldn't be necessarily a newer fund. But H&R Investments, right? So you have their phone numbers, and this is perfect. So you see how there isn't an email icon right here, right? You can reach out to the researcher to find you that information, or even the phone number. I know you guys have I forget what database it has, but I know you can find the phone numbers as well. But if you just wanted to have someone else do it for you, you can absolutely rely on them for that. Okay. So this is just another idea of how you can start generating business, finding all of those smaller sellers. I'm not interested in a Blackstone and seeing that they sold 10 properties in this area. Like, I'm not interested in that, right? I want to find all the smaller ones. You can start going through all of this. It's all exportable, right, in a CSV file. What I would do, okay, sorry, scratch that. But yes, so this is another tool that you can really use to your advantage. Okay, so buyers, sellers, you can filter by the type of buyers or filter by the type of sellers. So that, oh, this is something else as well. So for sellers, right, if you want to go to capital, seller, you can scroll down. If you just want to find trusts, right, like people that inherited trusts, and younger people that don't really have any interest in managing a property at all and just are interested in disposing and liquidating, you can filter by trusts, right, or private as well. Private and trust, those are going to be all the smaller, mom and pops kind of theme that I'm speaking on. Okay, so let me go back to the home page, and we'll go into public record, and we'll wrap up there. All right, and then you guys can always ask me questions, call me, email me. We can always schedule some one-on-one to kind of help you out with additional searches and how to get more granular. So we'll go into the public record. You guys should definitely utilize public record more often. So let's go over to something to keep in mind with public record, right? This is just like CoreLogic. This is CoreLogic, okay? And it's integrated into CoStar. So for not every public record, but for public record line items, majority of them will have a CoStar property attached to it. So let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, so we go to primary land use. We want to go to apartments. Go to filters. Okay, and go to loan. Okay, keep in mind about 30% of loans are recorded on public record, so we're going to have all of those. But for the other 70%, I can't guarantee that we'll have all of them, because since this is CoreLogic, we have everything that's publicly reported, excuse me, right? So maturity date. Let's go over to maturity date within the next year, or if you want to create your own range and start creating a pipeline for next year, you can put 2 years. But just for now, let's just look at the apartment buildings with the maturity date within the next year. Right? Lenders are probably having a conversation with them. They probably need to get out. 11136 Chandler Boulevard, right? 292 unit apartment building, right? So lenders probably having a conversation with them, asking what their plans are. Right? Here's public record, right? So you'll have the last sale and loan, the history of this property. Then you'll have the CoStar property detail right here. So this is linked to the All Properties module, right? Which is what makes our public record database amazing, because you actually have our researchers looking at what we have on public record and connecting it to our own internal research and connecting it to the property and getting all the information that I showed you in the All Properties module, right? You have the sale, unit mix, building, market condition, but what's most important about the owner, right? KBS Strategic Opportunity Rate. Again, there's scheduled real estates right here, but if you want to go and reach out to them, just go to contacts, phone number, email. Okay. And what you can do, I'll just show you this last thing. Because it's public record, it doesn't, the exports don't have the same functionality as you would in the all properties export. So it's just going to export as a public record export essentially, right? So if you kind of want to go through the public record search and the Excel file and just start creating, you know, your own list and connecting it to a property that isn't already connected, it's going to take a little more time, but it will be helpful for you. But that's just what I wanted to end on there. If you wanted to export that into an Excel file, you can. However, it's not going to be as robust and functional as the one in the All Properties module that I showed you. And we have about 4 minutes left. Yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to show you. I don't know if you guys have questions for me or if we want to wrap it here.
Anyone who has a question, go ahead and unmute yourself.
I had a quick question. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
I saw that there was the vacancy rate for different properties and what you just looked at. Is there a way to sort and look for that? Like, let's say people who have over 15% vacant.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you just go into properties and go to filters, it's going to say, I believe it's going to say percent leased. Right? I don't think it's going to say vacancy. Right here, percent leased. Okay, you can do your minimum or your maximum and start finding those properties there.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
Anyone else have a question? Unmute yourself.
If you guys always want to ask me questions later, you can. I'm happy to take this offline and do kind of more one-on-one specialized training for what it is that you need and help you save some searches and really how to, you know, really use it for a lot of business development as well, if you don't want to ask a question now.
I think the loan maturity feature is terrific, as well as the delinquency filter. There's a lot of great opportunities there for our brokers to capitalize on some future distress there.
Yeah, absolutely. The CMBS integration was huge. That went live, I think we completed that in February 17th, I think. So yeah, and then also we just completed the integration of STR. So if you guys do get into hospitality and you need access to RevPAR or anything else like indexes, you have that available for hospitality in CoStar as well. RevPAR, ADR, occupancy index, all that. It's available there.
Okay, if we don't have any other questions, I just wanted to say thank you so much, Jeff, for taking the time this morning with us. Everyone, I'll get Jeff's contact info to all of you. If you don't already have it, please reach out to him with any questions that you might have.
Yeah. And then, if you don't circulate that email, just go to the CoStar homepage. At the very bottom, you'll have my information right here. You will have your client relationship consultant, who I believe is Shay. I could be wrong, but you can always just reach out to me. My phone number will be right here. And if you always just want to send me an email, you can click that hyperlink and you can get to me directly there. Okay?
All right. All right.
Great.
Thank you so much, Jeff. And thanks everybody for being on this morning. We're really excited about the new leadership changes at KW Commercial. We're really excited about the back half of the year being very exciting for all of you. Go out there and get your fair share of business. And our office meeting starts in about 15 minutes. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Congratulations. See you guys later.